Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Azalea Grace Owen. If you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. I make lots of videos all about college and school and whatever else I find interesting at the time. So I made a video recently about student bullet journal pages, and I mentioned in that video that I wanted to do an organization video and about how I kind of stay organized for the semester as a engineering school student that also has a job on campus. So I just kind of wanted to go ahead and do that video. My semester is basically over. I have a final project due on Monday, but it's basically over. So this is how I stayed organized this semester, and I might try and implement some new things next semester. But yeah, this is basically it, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, as I mentioned in my bullet journal video, one of the most important things that I do is I make a semester overview at the beginning of the semester, and I've done this for the past 2 semesters. So basically on this side, I have like my weekly schedule, when my classes are, where they're at, if they're online or not. And then on this side, I have like all of the months and everything that I know for sure that's due that month. So like most of the quizzes I wrote down, unless it's like an every week quiz, projects, finals, all of that. And I actually made an identical one of these and put it on my wall. It's right there. So that's like where all my classes are, when they are, all of that. And as I mentioned, that was for this semester, so that's not my schedule next semester in case you want to stalk me or something. So I really implement that way I don't miss classes. Obviously it's not 100% because I did literally show up to a class an hour late one day this semester and had a quiz, but just to kind of keep in mind what's going on. So from this part of my semester overview, I actually look at it pretty much every week and implement that into my weekly schedules, which is what I wanted to talk about next. So obviously I have my bullet journal weekly schedules, and at the beginning of every week, I go back to my semester overview and I write down every single one of my assignments that are due for that semester. And then on a day-to-day basis, I do something a little bit different that I'll talk about in just a minute. But I do write down all of those things that I have due that week in the weekly journal. That way I know kind of how to plan my week. I also have a weekly overview hanging up at my desk. That way I can look up whenever I'm doing homework and be like, oh, I have this due that I forgot about, that because I forgot to write down in my bullet journal. So it's kind of like a backup method, I guess you could say. One of the other things I do is I literally color code everything, and I'm just the kind of person that really helps me. So as you may have noticed on my semester overviews, they're all color coded. I also follow those color codes with each of the classes. I also follow those color codes in OneNote. All of my tabs for OneNote are the same color, and it really just helps me stay organized. I don't know why, but I really relate colors to things, so that works really well for me. And so seeing it in those 3 different places really helps. I also color coded my Google Calendar / Outlook calendar, which I'll also get into a little bit later, but that's something that's been really helpful for me, especially with the new widgets thing on your phone, because I added a calendar at the top of my homepage so I can see my hourly overview for the day, and it's oh, you have this class coming up, and that is super, super, super helpful for me. One of the best things about the new iOS is the widgets. We all know that, and that one has really been beneficial to me personally. So whenever I have a weekly overview and I'm waking up in the morning on an individual day, in order to stay organized on that day, I look at my weekly overview, think about what I need to study. So if I have a quiz on Wednesday and it's a Monday, I'll be okay, study for quiz. I write that down as a checklist, and then not every single week, but weeks whenever I notice that I'm busy, I put tally marks at the bottom for how many hours I think I should be doing homework that day, and each hour I'll mark them off. I do the study method. I'm not sure the exact name, but it's basically where you study for 50 minutes and then take a 10-minute break. That one really works well for me for some reason. So each 50-minute block technically is a tally that I make into a star, but it really helps for me, and it helps me hold myself accountable. So if I have a really busy day specifically, I will actually go into the notes on my phone, and I will make a schedule out of the today, what times I need to be doing what, and that way I can stay focused on my task and make sure that I need to get everything done. This really helped me during exam weeks. I say weeks because yes, this week was exam week, but I always have the midterm weeks where I have 4 things due in one week. Never fails to happen. I think that the professors plan it that way. But during those weeks, it's really helpful for me to make sure that I'm really well organized. That way I'm staying on task and getting done everything that I need to be done. Because honestly, like, forgetting to do something is the worst thing you can do to bring your grade down, because especially in like engineering school or any STEM field, like, you're gonna fail things. It's a part of it. I think that they make it that way to kind of humble you. But forgetting something is not a great way to bring your grade down. So another thing that I implemented really well this semester that I wanted to talk about was taking advantage of Google Calendars and Outlook calendars. So I actually synced these calendars, and basically what I did is I went into Google Calendars and I wrote down all of the things that I have each week, including classes, work schedule, meetings, everything that was weekly, and I put it in my Google Calendars and color coded it. I made sure there was no notifications because that would bother me. But like, my schedule is in Google Calendars, and I synced that with Outlook. And Outlook actually makes it so where if you schedule like a Zoom meeting with someone, then it'll go automatically into your calendar. So this was really helpful for me whenever I was meeting with professors, or if I had like office hours when my professors scheduled that in. So I could look and be like, oh, I can make this or I cannot make this based on my calendar. That was really helpful for me. I really like the idea too. And as I mentioned, I had the widget on my phone where I can view the hourly schedule for the day, which really helped me to remember what was coming up and stuff. I really liked that. A lot of people don't like it because they don't like planning themselves out that much, but I do, just where I can see where I have free time and stuff. And I also mentioned about the notes on my phone where I would make the like hourly to-do list for a day that's extremely busy. And that also helped with Google Calendars because I could look at Google Calendars and be like, well, I'm free this 2-hour period. I should study this during those 2 hours, and I would write it down. So overall, it like really worked well for me this semester. My GPA isn't perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it is, but I did do really well, and this organization system has really worked for me, especially the bullet journaling. Obviously that's like my main source of organization, but just kind of like reminding myself of things, making schedules for myself so I stay on task. Having a job on campus and being a full-time student is extremely difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people have like 2 jobs, and like, I don't know how they do it because I can barely hold on to one. But staying organized is the best way to stay ahead of the curve, and the best way to like relieve stress, honestly, because college is stressful. Like, they make it stressful. That way you can work out in a stressful environment in the real world. But being organized, knowing what you need to be doing and doing it is the only way to survive college and to make good grades. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any other videos, ideas you'd like to see about school, about organization or anything, just comment them down below and I'd be happy to make those or answer questions.